I'm going to ask a simple question outside of the division. So I'm an Eagles fan. That means you've got the Commanders, the Giants, and the Cowboys. But outside of the division, or whoever you cheer for in the NFL, outside of your division rivals, are the San Francisco 49ers the most unlikable team in the NFL? Now, on the surface, San Francisco fans will say, oh, well, you're an Eagles fan. You're just bitter that, the Eagles ended up losing to the 49ers in the playoffs and blah, blah, blah. That's far from the reason why. I mean, I felt like this for a long time. And I guess, the timing isn't great on my, for me right now, being an Eagles fan. Let me just say that any Eagles fan that didn't see that playoff game going the way that it did wasn't paying attention all season. I was far from mad. I expected what I ended up getting in that playoff game. No, the reason why I pose this question is because if you're not familiar, the 49ers ended up going to Seattle and getting their ass beat, 41-6. And this was Trent Williams' post-game comments afterwards asking, was the Seattle Seahawks defense just simply too much for you guys?
Against the Seahawks defense, you got to face them twice every year, and it seems like they have your number right now.
I mean, ain't gonna take shit. I mean, we ain't got, we down to all the best tight end in the world, right? It's a lot of things that we're up against, not just Seattle. So, I mean, we split the game. They won one. I mean, during the season, we came down here with a healthy team and we won. I think that's what we can be. Obviously, when you're playing with guys that you signing out practice squads, guys that's, you taking off the street, I mean, you got to temper your expectations a little bit, So.
Okay, so here's why I bring it up. Do I have a dog in the fight right now for who wins the Super Bowl? No, I don't. I don't even have any betting interest in it at all. I don't have any futures bets online. So when the 49ers went to Seattle, it wasn't like I was pulling for one team or the other. But I don't really like the 49ers because if you had asked me before this game, I would have said this is a team that consistently makes excuse after excuse after excuse for why they don't ever win the big one. And I think back to 2023 when the 49ers came into Philadelphia for the NFC Championship game and the Eagles broke their quarterback. And then the Eagles proceeded to break their other quarterback. And it left Brock Purdy having to go in with one arm and really just hand the ball off in a game that at that point was well lopsided anyway. There was no way, there was no world where the 49ers were going to come back. Even if they had a third-string quarterback, an emergency quarterback for that game, they weren't going to come back on the Eagles and end up winning. But post-game, instead of just owning up to the fact that they put a backup tight end on Hassan Reddick, who at that point had 20-something sacks, dumb move, that ended up getting their starting quarterback broken in that game. Instead of owning up to that mistake, it was, no, we got screwed because we didn't have a third-string quarterback. Again, what third-string quarterback was going to lead you to the promised land? There was no world where the defense of the 49ers was going to be able to stop the Eagles' offense, but even if they were able to, the game was so out of hand that no third-string quarterback was going to make that much of a difference. But again, 49ers, they make excuses. Okay, fine, it's one game, you're bitter, I get it. But then there's this game. And he's asked point blank, was the defense too much for you guys? Well, apparently the defense was, because you only scored 6 points. And Trent Williams comes out and he says, no. We weren't just battling the Seahawks. No, we were down the NFL's best tight end. Okay. I don't think he is. He's top 3 though. Okay. So let's just, for shits and giggles, let's just say he is the best tight end in football. Is George Kittle a 35-point difference maker? Is George Kittle going to make up 35 points with his ability to block and catch the ball? No. No, and no. Which brings me back to my next question. Are they the most unlikable team because they can never just own up to the fact they're not good enough? The 49ers remind me of a hockey team that I used to play on that I no longer play on, and I got sick of it. Because even though there were deficiencies on this hockey team, it was either we won or we got screwed. We got screwed by the refs. We got screwed by the other team having ringers, like you name it. It was never just, hey, we're not good enough. No. Can't admit that. It was always a caveat. It was always an excuse. And that's what you get from the 49ers. They come out with the boom box and they're all hype, and it's like they're trying to like put on this show, this act, only to end up falling short. Again, in an embarrassing fashion, where the entire NFL is just laughing at them. You came out to that much pomp and circumstance and scored 6 points. Did I think the 49ers were going to end up winning the Super Bowl? No, but I did think that they were the hot team heading into the playoffs, and they possibly could make some noise. But going into Seattle is a very, very difficult thing to do. Everybody knows that. Their home field advantage is real. They designed their stadium to trap sound in, so it makes it very difficult for an opposing team to come into. Combine that with the fact that Seattle's really good. They're 14-2. They're the number 1 seed. I'm not surprised at how the outcome went. It's the fact that you just can't look yourself in the mirror. And the delusion of the San Francisco 49ers and their fan base and their media, for that matter. You have Boom Boom and Squiggy on 95.7 The Game, who just, it's basically the same thing. Like, you just can't admit, we're not good enough. I'm an Eagles fan, and I'm telling you, if you look at all my videos leading into the playoffs, and if you look at my lives of the in-games, I was sitting there going, this team ain't good enough. They can barely, score 20 points in a game. They're not good enough. They're not going to end up, this is not the year. They have deficiencies, mainly on the offensive leadership, mainly in the coaching department. Like, you were just able to look in the mirror and go, okay, like, this isn't the Eagles getting screwed. This isn't a bad call here or there. No, it's the Eagles played like the Eagles were supposed to. The Eagles played like they had all season long. They underperformed, and they lost. And you know what would have happened if the Eagles ended up squeaking out a win and going to Seattle? Pretty damn similar to what happened to the 49ers. The difference, however, is I do think that there would have been an inward moment where you were able to look inside, and the players and the coaches would have been like, you know what? This was an issue all year long. It is what it is. We'll regroup. And I think that's what you were supposed to do. I'm not asking you to praise the other team and shit on your own team, but to come out and say, oh, well, we were battling this and that. It's the same story with these guys every single year. Am I looking forward to the championship games? Not really. LA and the Rams are a really good team, but I don't like Sean McVay, and LA doesn't have a fan base to speak of. And then they're going up against Seattle, which, like, okay, fine, but I don't really care one way or the other about that one. And then on the flip side, you've basically got the Patriots who are going to walk to the Super Bowl, and I think everybody wanted like a good 10-year stretch with the Patriots not winning. And now we're back to the Patriots being a dominant force. So, I don't have a hard standpoint one way or the other with the championship games. But I do think that one of the things that would keep the 49ers from being a good team would probably be looking in the mirror. And it's a very, very small aspect of being a good team. But their lack of ever giving anyone credit and the woe is me and the we got screwed attitude has me thinking they're by far the least likable team in football. And that goes over the Cowboys for me, which, like, yeah, the Cowboys are the Cowboys and they're cringe and all that, and I'll always hate them. And, but to me, like, the Cowboys are that cute team where Dak's always going to like lead the league in passing. He'll be up there at least, but they're going to end up winning 7 games. And they'll beat the Eagles like one time, but they'll end up losing to the Giants twice or something like that. They'll end up finding a way to win 7 games and miss the playoffs. They're not a real threat. The 49ers, they're that team that every year you hear about, and they have a decent roster, and they'll make some noise, but yet when they actually face a better team than them, they just can't own up to it. What do you guys think out there? Is this the most unlikable team in the NFL? And if not, who is for you? Hit thumbs up if you like this. Smash that thumbs down button if you thought this video sucked. Subscribing is cool. You could hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. I'm going to go now. And as always, go Birds.